Now, if you watch the channel, I usually don't pay much attention to modern games, but there is an exception. Gran Turismo 7 and the setup that we have with the racing seat and the shifter, we even have a clutch pedal. So this is the most realistic driving experience you could get besides actually driving a Bugatti Veyron or Enzo Ferrari. But we even have a clutch pedal. So this setup that my brother has is 5 star. I mean, you could see. So we're gonna do a little gameplay. I'm not an expert at this. I only played a few times when I go over, but it's one of the reasons why I go over my brother's house. Oh, of course, to hang out with him, but you know, he uses this to bring me over. So besides retro collecting, and you can see from other posts on my channels, cars are really big, especially for us Gen Xers, on tuning cars and what is the best dollar for a performance ratio to get as an adult, not like what these kids do. So, you know, cars are very much part of my life, and if you've seen my other videos, I have modified an Audi, a Lexus, and my wife's Subaru, as well as the BMW wagon. But this takes the cake. I mean, you're actually, you know, you have to shift. I mean, you could drive an automatic mode, but that's stupid. So, you know, with the clutch pedal and the paddle shifters, it depends on the car. So that's another thing, how realistic this game is. Sometimes you do have to use paddle shifters because that's what's in the car instead of a manual gearbox. But then there's cars like, let's say the Acura Type R, that you should use the shifter because that's the more realistic feel. And you know that VTEC is at the higher RPM, so you want to keep it at that 4, you know, up RPM level. But man, again, I'm no expert at this game. I only played a few times, but just to showcase how a modern game can appeal to us Gen Xers, because I freaking love this game.
Is that a Mazda? No, punch it. I gotta remember when you break it. Get it? I think it's special.
So just like as all the Gran Turismo series, you could select the track and even the different times of day, because when you run a turbocharged car, you want to run it when it's a little bit cooler than in a desert at high noon or something like that. So you have to consider those factors too. And then here we're going to go through the garage, and you actually earn these cars and unlock them as you progress in the game. So this is our garage that we have. And again, I guess the Raptor is the only truck that we have, but we have some classic cars. I'm but I always wanted to drive an Enzo, so this is a chance where you could actually feel like what it's like driving an Enzo Ferrari. And I will say this, despite the age of this car, even the older cars, you feel their limitation, their strengths,
Yeah,
their weaknesses.
that doesn't have
I mean,
power
you really,
steering.
this game is really dialed in to the vehicle, the specific vehicle that you select. The other thing is, they say you should never meet your heroes. And I will say this, us Gen Xers, we grew up with the Countach and the Testarossa and the DeLorean posters up on the wall. And they're really difficult to drive. A, they don't have power steering. B, like, they're not really controllable on the road. So the Enzo is the last hero I wanted to drive, and it did not disappoint. I mean, it holds up even today. I can't believe I'm behind a Bugatti Veyron right there. It was just so smooth, this car. I mean, it was unbelievable. And I'm not an experienced in this game driver. I will say I'm a good driver on a racetrack. I have done lap times and stuff, and this is the closest thing. And you do have to get to know the track as well. You just can't go. It takes a while to actually go through tracks at a slower speed to know when to brake, when to turn, and you have to keep all of those factors, just like in a real track, into account. So me just jumping in and driving, I'm not doing my best because I don't know the track very well. But just for video footage, I wanted to showcase that. And it shows, because you could see how I come too close to the wall, how I was braking too late or too early. I mean, all of those things. And this will make you a better driver in the real world.
I'm driving an Enzo. What a jerk. Totally hit me. Ooh, bitch, get out the way! Sorry, Mr. McLaren.
The next set of footage is complete rubbish. I actually took another hero, the 1987 Audi Quattro, out on a dirt track, and yes, you could do that. And again, it is unforgiving. Like, you really, as I was saying earlier, you have to know the track. You have to know. It's a completely set of different rules when you drive on dirt, and I think rally drivers are the best drivers in the world. I'm sorry, NASCAR. I'm very sorry, but you guys, rally car drivers are completely, I think, a lot better drivers than NASCAR drivers. Because there's so much physics going on at the same time while you're driving. You see, I'm having a difficult time controlling the car because I just got off of a track and I'm not doing. There's a totally different set of rules. But this is hours and hours of fun. I mean, for us older guys, especially us gearheads, this is freaking amazing. I should have took the Raptor out, on this. This would have probably been better.
Yeah, it's totally
But,
different dynamic.
the Audi Quattro was the standard bearer for what came afterward in the Evos, the Subaru WRX. I mean, it was the pioneer vehicle for this type of track.
NASCAR people, but this is a lot more difficult than. You have to be a better driver. Rally driver is probably 10 times better than a NASCAR driver. My car almost looked up the ground. And because you hit the gas and the turbocharger and this thing kicks in, it could just get swirly on you right away. Drive a little slower to get the feel of the track first, and also the power of your vehicle. This is accurate. God. It's amazing. This car was made in 1987.
So we're coming towards the end of the video, and this is a setup that I highly recommend if you have money. Doing a little Dukes of Hazzard here, 2 wheels.
I did Dukes of Hazzard. I run 2 wheels.
It is hours of entertainment. It is by far the best driving simulator you could buy. So this is Shabu RU signing off.